Hey everyone, this is Sean. Today I want to show you a tool that's like Figma for thinking in the AI space. So what I mean by that is that you can essentially think through how do you brainstorm some ideas instead of like in ChatGPT where you're going to see a linear chat interface. Instead, you're going to see a mind map like this where you can just you zoom in and zoom out and ask follow-up questions. So actually a lot of people are asking me how did I prepare for tech videos in the past. To be very honest with you, I have no idea. I just usually go with the flow. And then what I tried with this tool today is that I put in my own videos and ask it to analyze for me how did I break down the topics into the chapters that I was explaining. And later I also asked it to brainstorm a new idea that I'm going to talk about in my next video, which is Vercel deployment and CI/CD with GitHub. Okay, so today I want to show you how to use this tool to basically do this infinite Canva-style mind map thinking. And also today's video is sponsored by Pondering, and I'll link the promotion code down below in the description box. Okay, so let's get started. I'll start from a fresh page with Ponder.ing, and I'm gonna put in my videos right here. Okay, so the first thing is that I probably will start with files over here, and then click on YouTube link, and I'll just copy my YouTube links down in. First one, the Kimi video. Second one, the Supabase video. Now you can see that it's kind of thinking through and processing these videos of my past, and then it's kind of extracting some knowledge from it. You can ask follow-up questions here, or you can just turn on the mind map over here. I think it's still processing, but yeah, you can see now that the mind map is expanding by itself. It knows that it's got two resources. So I really like the style of an infinite mind map, which is why I was using the analogy that this is like Figma for thinking. Because for Figma, it's essentially for designers to collaborate and see an infinite mind map so that they can all kind of collaborate and work together on the same idea of the design. And here's more like for the brainstorming of the strategies or some to-dos or research on a topic. So it's very similar kind of design thinking behind this. Okay, I can see that there's some expansions over here for my Kimi K2 video from the past. It also kind of understood, yeah, it's pretty accurate. Kimi had a 5.7 thousand GitHub stars back then when I was making the video. It had the way to set up with Anthropic, blah, blah, blah. I think they processed the video just like most of the other video processing tools, but then it's just showing me this very structured mind map or tree map that sort of analyzed through my entire video storytelling, okay? So I can see that it's still processing. Maybe a quick feedback for Ponder is that you could maybe show me the thinking somewhere else, because if I was here, I might not be able to see that it's still processing. Seems like it ended up processing the two videos. I can also hide the unnecessary ones for now. Let's hide the Kimi one for now. And then let's take a look at the Supabase video. All right, the Supabase video was also very well structured. Okay, started from introduction of Supabase. It's a backend as a service. And then I was explaining about the authentication using Supabase, row level security, real-time subscription, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's very thorough. Okay, so now let's move on to the next one. The next point I wanted to make is that I wanted to brainstorm a new video idea for me, and using a very similar style of how I usually present my tech tutorials, okay? So I'm gonna sort of zoom into my sources over here. You can see that there are two videos here. So I'll just say add a child, okay? And I'll just type in, I'll say ask questions. So I want to follow a very similar style as Sean's previous tech tutorials. Prepare a thorough list of chapters to present for my next video. Top 95% of the use cases for a Next.js builder, using Vercel to deploy and GitHub as its CI/CD trigger. Let's see what we get, okay? Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide the rest of the structure, okay? I think this is pretty handy. By the way, you can always check the document view here. So you can see that this is the entire chat for the thinking process, which is just like ChatGPT or any other AI tool that you're using. But here, it's kind of helped me to break down into different chapters. And I can hide things if I'm like doubling down on another topic. Okay, so let's see how good it is. Next.js, Vercel, GitHub, CI/CD, 95% use cases for vibe coders. It's a comprehensive guide covering the essential deployment development workflow, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's good. And then let's see, I've got quite a few chapters. Let me just make it full screen for you. Chapter 1 is Introduction to Setup and Foundation. Why this matters for non-tech founders. Okay, good. GitHub repository setup, version control basics. Okay, essential Git workflow for beginners. That's very important. Next.js project creation, local deployment, Vercel account setup and first deployment. Okay. Automatic CI/CD pipeline configuration, environment variable and configuration management, database integration, backend services, blah, 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 blah. There are a bunch of things. I think I'll show you another very interesting feature here, which is their agent mode. For people who are very familiar with Cursor, I think they're following a very similar design thinking behind this. So let's say, for example, if I want to doubling down on automatic CI/CD pipeline configuration, because I think here maybe like for people who are not from a technical background, it's probably less familiar for them. Okay, so I'm just going to say, okay, you can see that there's an AI agent button. If I click on it, if I select this node, I'll be like, I want to double down on the current node and prepare some real setup examples for automatic CI/CD config with GitHub, step by step, as if the audience is a beginner. And let's see what it does. Okay. Now the agent is thinking, so I'll let it think for a little bit. Maybe another quick feedback for the next iteration for Ponder is that perhaps you can show me the thinking process here, like what kind of materials you're processing through. Are you searching any websites so that the user will be able to see? And by the way, you can see that you can choose different models over here. If you're using basic one, it's unlimited. If you're using different models, like it's using different credits. So right now I've got this pro account for credits, so you can see that if I'm using Claude 4, then the credits is going to be running much faster. Okay. Good, so now it's generating stuff. Okay, so you can see all these green stuff is an expansion on the topic of automatic CI/CD pipeline configuration. And very similarly, so on Cursor, if you want to order anything in the terminal, say like git push or build a test or run some command lines, you always need to ask for permission before Cursor took actions. But on Ponder, it's very similar. So it's asking me if I should reject or accept. If I accept, then this thing will stay here. Okay. So let's double check on what exactly we had. So for this, I can just mark it as another color so that I can see exactly where it is. Okay, so for CI/CD, if I move up, yeah, so this is a bit of background about how we're doing the tutorial for beginners. And then this is how you set up the Vercel project. Okay, so this is easy, just follow the steps. Step 2 is like, okay, so there's some configuration for repository secrets. Okay, and the third one is you're going to create the GitHub action workflow files. And then deployment for pull request, testing your setup, and environment variable, blah, blah, blah. So this is a very thorough one. This is more than enough, to be honest, for another video to explain about CI/CD deployment, okay? So last but not least, Ponder AI also enables people to export the entire thinking into a PDF or Markdown. So you just gotta move to over here. If you check like document view, there's an export button. If you click on export button, you can either copy or save it as a PDF. Okay, so I'm just gonna export it as a PDF. After that, it's gonna start downloading and I'm gonna save it on my desktop. Okay, I'm gonna just click on it. Okay, so you can see that it processed my videos, my Kimi K2 video.
It's cool, already have.
And my Supabase 95% video. And then has all the structure of what it processed previously. Okay, so you can always come back here and then just double check on the mind map for either deep down using agent mode, or you can keep asking follow-up questions. Basically, if you click on any node, you can just ask with AI, right? Okay, so a quick wrap up. I think Ponder is an interesting design for helping people to think infinitely with the Canva style. So I think the best analogy is Figma, right? And I think that's a very interesting idea because it's basically going beyond just using ChatGPT as a chat interface. but instead you're sort of having this kind of you're sort of having this whiteboard where you're like breaking things into tree branches while you're thinking through stuff, okay? And then also, I like the idea of having an AI agent mode on the right-hand side, which is very developer-friendly, I would say, because most developers these days are already kind of familiar with Cursor, Claude Code, and all these kind of UI, UX, and having an agent mode on the right-hand side help you sort of manipulate or execute things on the main dashboard with a permission on the right-hand side to ask you to accept or escape. It's very handy and it's very consistent with what other tools that we're already using as developers. And last but not least, I think it's very clean of how they design this app because you not only have this homepage for asking questions with Ponder. I think we started from start with files, but you can also click on write or just ask questions in general. And you'll also be able to see all the past history that you have done and the chats. And they also have this feature for space, which is for collaboration, okay? So a little bit of feedback. Well, I think while the ponder.ing is still thinking ing, maybe show people that it's thinking ing, because otherwise I might think that my internet is disconnected or something. But I think that's like trivial compared with this infinite map that you guys have created. So, well, kudos to this product. And if you guys want to try it out, there's a link down below in the description box, and I'll also link it on this video. And I hope you enjoy trying this new tool, and we'll see. Let me know how you feel or how you think about using it. Thanks very much. Cheers.